So another week's gone by. Got my kids here. Got my dog here. It's a full household. It's a good time. I want to thank those of you that have swung by in the last couple weeks to say hey, give advice, sound advice, one and all. Mr. Shu, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. But last week got pretty bad. It got down there pretty far. It's my alarm that goes off every day of the week at 8 a.m. We went a great deal down the rabbit hole this week. It was a raw, rough, harsh fucking week for me. I had to face a lot of really negative realities. A lot of things that I'm not happy with or proud of, or don't get me wrong, it was all of my making, whether indirectly or directly. As the week washed out, and this week was almost a complete loss because of circumstances. We got very little actual work done this weekend, or this week. So much, in fact, that I am working on the weekend, even though my kids are here. Half days, but still working, getting stuff done. Have to. And as the week washed out, as everything completed, as the week drew to an end, I realized just exactly how much of a strange and blessed life I have. The last several weeks of my existence have been polarized in highs and lows, and I can't express the people that are around us, around the shop, the gratitude I have towards those folks. All the right people at all the right time have come forward and lent us a hand in one form or another. They see what I'm doing. They've watched me the last couple months become very agitated, distressed, and stressed. We stopped bringing in work. We quit doing it. I went over that before. If it doesn't fit our portfolio, we'll try not to take it. If it's a regular customer, we'll help them out, whatever. We got some regular customers that flip modern cars. We will still help them. Because they're our regular dudes. You know, they're the shop's family at this point. They've been around long enough. They help keep us fed. Well, that's been some pickings because we're not taking work. Alright, so current events, what's going on, what's happening. Like I said, last week was a rough fucking week. Disappointed in myself. The GMC pickup's about ready to fire, but it's not there yet. This is the kind of shit that happens when you allow your feet to drag and not get shit done in a timely manner. I gotta go through a wire diagram. We're upgrading to an HEI and various little bullshit on this pickup. But I gotta get a wiring diagram. The wiring in this poor truck, it needs to get started over. It needs to get a new blade block, fuse block, and just start over. The wiring is really bad, really crunchy in some places. And quite frankly, I don't trust it all that much. So we're going to go through and replace some wires that we have to. The starting charging system is going to be up to snuff before it leaves. I'm not going to allow it to leave incomplete or with wires with broken coverings. So yeah, I pulled a wire diagram. I've got the book for 67 up. Pulled that out. And we got to go through all that. We got to get it wired up proper. The starter's set for a while, so we're gonna. My nephew, I think, got it checked for us. It's a lot safer just to take it somewhere and have them check it than fuck around with it in the field. I try to take as few chances with getting physically damaged as possible. Safety equipment and whatnot are paramount, and I'm always pushing the guys to make sure they're safe. Jeremy, I don't have to worry about it. He always follows proper protocol. So no matter what you do, you're still going to get shit. That was apparently I had a little wire whisker on a weld, and when I'm welding up some of these old parts, you get the boogers from the inclusions, and boogers of inclusions from stuff you drop from underneath the panel that you're trying to get welded together. It seems no matter how well I clean them up, I still get a few of those. And I have this bad habit, when it starts bubbling up, I'll wipe that weld. That's what that is. That wire was sticking up, went right through the glove because it was just hot butter. Good thing is it didn't bleed. That's been it. We are doing pre-assembly on the Monty, getting all the parts to make sure they fit, because we put new quarters on it. We did massive repairs to the doors. The thinners, we did some pretty massive repairs, but I don't think there's anything there to be afraid of or have to worry about. So we'll do a pre-fit, pre-assembly. Finish a little bit of body work that's left to finish. Not much. We're there. We're in home row. I got footage of it. I'll get it up. I have no excuse for not getting more footage up last week. I had some time off due to circumstances up there at the shop. But getting into a small business, you know, this is sort of the direction I've been trying to aim Sunday morning coffees. And I'm trying to keep them at 15 minutes or less and aim it towards some of the pitfalls you face, some of the pitfalls you deal with. And the amazing thing I've seen is the wonderful advice, the great advice down in the comments. I don't feel they teach you shit in business school. They teach you about law, they teach you about accounting, they teach you about all these generic subjects, and that's fine. They don't really get into some of the real issues involved. My cats were swarming my daughter wanting fed. Side note on that, when my children are here, they do care for the animals. I think it's important that that bond of person who bears food is created with the animals, person who walks dog is created with the dog. It's irreplaceable. It teaches them responsibility. So back to what I was saying is your business schools, and I am a semester and a half away from an Associates of Science in Business Administration. I'll go back one day maybe. I haven't decided. That degree doesn't mean anything, or that certification doesn't mean anything to me. It's like I'm 2 semesters from testing for welding certifications. certifications in welding are for industrial applications, generally speaking. They'll let me pick the certification, but if I did anything, it'd be Moly Chrome TIG. Some of you cats out there know exactly what I mean. I've never built anything that fast, so it's kind of a moot point at this juncture. But there's a lot of pitfalls involved in a small business, that the accounting, the management, the 4 Ps, all the basic knowledge and ideals of business, they're applicable. But all they're teaching you is a generic base, which is, it's good. Everybody needs that. But they're not. They're not getting into some of the finer situations. People that are teaching it are good businessmen. Or at least in relative terms. I think you need to know a few good artisans who are bad businessmen first. Men and women that are good at a particular service or trade that don't have the capacity to run their own business. And watch them run one. Many nosedive. The big ones, I think, are you separate your work time from your home time. You separate your business accounts from your personal accounts. And you must maintain a professional dispassion. I can tell you right now, if let's say a 65, 66 Fairlane came in with an old FE engine in it, I would be fucked. At this current time, if somebody showed up with one, I would more than likely decline the project. Because to me, that's the epitome of muscle car. Don't know why. I'm not a Ford guy. But that car, for some reason, embodies the muscle car era. They're gorgeous. They're amazing cars to me. So you maintain that professional dispassion. I've looked at what people are doing out there. See, I isolated myself. I learned anew. I reinvented the motherfucking wheel for what is going on, at least locally. And that's something amazing about the internet is I've got to watch a lot of really good guys build a lot of really nice cars. And I'll tell you, in a lot of cases, from what I've seen, your hobbyists that build their own shit are doing better work than the shops. The hobbyists can be passionate. They can spend 150 hours on a core support if they so feel. In a shop setting, the core support pretty much gets ignored. It gets scrubbed, it gets shot, you move on. I've seen the work that people are putting out and calling good work. I do want to get one of those Bonder detectors. I will get around to it eventually. Just because I want to go to these car shows with one and check them out. I have a feeling I'd start a few fist fights, so probably not a good idea. But I've been to several car shows this year. I did not go to Good Guys this year. I was in a state of pretty healthy, pretty heavy self-loathing at that point because projects that are behind. looking at the cars, looking down the sides, looking around them, talking to the owners. She's so nice, she waves at you twice as she drives by. That's what I see in most of these cars. We don't have the budget or time frame on most projects we're doing to get them absolutely show car bullet straight. And I know there'll be flaws, but there you go. We're making good on our commitment. We're doing work above the bar. I make sure that the owners get the work provided a level above the financial compensation I'm receiving. Is that smart business? In the here and now, no. But tomorrow, the next day, and the day after, yes. Keep an eye out, guys. Watch us. Watch this little shop. It's growing. It's doing stuff. We're literally right at that point that we are gonna swim or sink. And to be real truthful, I'm not sure which is in our immediate future. It's a very trying and scary moment in our history. Year one, you can skate through year one, no problem. It's easy. Year one is easy because you're energized, you're taking on anything you can. As long as you stay busy, you're making a little bit of money. Year two, you can scoot through year two and do all right. Not great, but all right. You have things that start stacking up. You have projects or bills, or usually you either have projects or bills that start stacking up. In some cases, both, because you are foolish and you take in deposits, and even if you buy all your materials and supplies, you apply the rest, the labor or profit from the job, directly to overhead issues, which is what you're supposed to do. But the projects don't get jumped on right away. That's the fault. That's the rub. That's the thing you're gonna run into. Year three, all your sins catch up with you. Everything you've done wrong in the last 2 years, all lessons learned, you're gonna steer in a different direction. If I can leave you with any advice, is write a business plan every single year, even if it's just an outline form. Bullet points. 30 days, 3 months, 6 months in the year. Or even go as far as throwing in a 90-day, or 3 months is 90 days. Yeah. 1 month, 90 day, 6 months, year. Do that each and every year. Get a program or go longhand and write out all your expenses that go out and come in, and if you're running double books, which is ill-advised and inappropriate, at least keep track of actual numbers. And then with that, you have written goals. They're quantitative. You have to figure out where you're going. You're going to provide services, products, otherwise, and those vary. Those will evolve. Those will become something else. And you will find what profits, what doesn't profits, and stop doing the shit that costs you money, even if they're for good customers you like. Hi, Andy. That little bastard needs to go. Anybody need a cat? They're small. Take 2. But track what you're losing money on. We're at the point right now I've got a sheet for everybody to fill out. Me, my partner, the helper. And we're going to get cracking on that as we finish up these projects that are in the shop. New projects that come in, we're going to get cracking on that, because what I want is to track expenses and expenditures. What I mean by that is I want everybody to fill out a sheet. What day they worked on what. Let's say 68 Chevelle. I spent 6 hours wire wheeling around the back window and the undercarriage. Okay, so that's general cleanup, wire wheel, there. I spent an hour scraping seam seal. I spent 4 hours putting slick sand down. I spent track very specific tasks. And if you're serious and you're going to do it, running in there and just flailing your arms and getting it done like some old Warner Brothers cartoon works. But if you can track where you're spending your hours, your time is your most expensive commodity. That's the one thing that will cost you the most money. If you track those, you can see where you're winning and losing. And if you can track where you're winning and losing, you can start adjusting accordingly. If you thought it was going to take you 10 hours to install quarter panels and it wound up taking you 32 hours, you've got to sit down and really review your process. You'll be able to shave time, but you also have to compensate when you figure jobs. You can come from both sides of that angle. If you're going to do it, you're going to be serious, and just a small shop. I'm not going to be a big shop. I don't have any interest in being a big shop. I've got an idea of what we're spending on these, but I don't have facts in front of me. I don't have solid empirical evidence in front of me. We have to know where we're spending our time. And you have to bill for every single thing you do. If you put the drain plugs in the body, and it takes you 20 minutes to do it, I'll just throw those in real quick. And then you replace all of the trim clips around the front and rear glass. Oh, it's only $10, and it only takes 45 minutes. And then you wet sand and polish the inside of your jams. It wasn't on your list. It wasn't on your estimate. But it only takes you 2 hours. You're already into hundreds of dollars of billable hours you're not billing. It doesn't matter how much or how little you charge, you have to charge for everything you do. And it's not a slight on the owner. Any good owner should be happy to pay for services rendered to an extent. They're going to haggle you, of course, they all do. But if you're going to do a world-class job, and we don't do a world-class job, we do a good job. But if you aim to do a world-class job and you want to get there, you have to set the precedent. What you allow will continue. You allow people to step on you and walk on you, and I have. It will continue. And when you put a stop to it, it gets really difficult, really fast for a good long time, because you've allowed those people around you. They're hangers-on, they're time wasters. I'm out. Speaking of time wasters, you folks have a good day. Thanks for stopping in.